Jeremy Cowart is an award-winning photographer who's taken pictures of celebrities like Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift. He's also been a photographer for people who'd never had their picture taken before. But Jeremy isn't just using his talents to get a bunch of likes on his Instagram page. He's using his photos to change the world.
Jeremy Cowart struggled in school, unable to focus on his studies. But in 7th grade, he found something he excelled in: art. Since then, Jeremy has followed his creativity, and in 2014, he was named the most influential photographer on the internet by Huffington Post. In his book, I'm Possible, this award-winning photographer shares how he pushed anxiety and fear aside to discover his talents and why he uses his artistic platform to inspire others.
Jeremy Cowart is here with us now. We welcome you to the program. It's great to have you today.
It's great to be here.
I'm Possible rather than Impossible is the name of the book. You know, growing up, you felt like you just couldn't identify what was your thing, what made you unique or special. Talk a little bit about that, because it really impacted how you felt about yourself as a child.
Sure did, yeah. I was very quiet, shy, and average, and made average grades, and I just, because of the education system, the way the testing works, I just thought that was my value as a human, as a B or C student. So I just thought I wouldn't be able to do much in life, and yeah, I was just very kind of normal kid.
I loved your mom and dad, though, because they never bought it.
That's right, that's right. Yeah.
And no matter what happened, no matter how discouraged you were, you'd come home and say, it's impossible, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. They would deliver the scripture.
Yeah, Philippians 4:13, over and over. Yeah.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Which is super encouraging. Just the love and support of a parent is really all any child needs, and supporting our natural interests, which mine was art and all things creative.
How did you find that? Because you didn't find it for a long time, and then it was like a voila moment.
Yeah, it was really in 7th grade, the first time I took my art class, and I made a really, good drawing, and that's when my parents just started really pouring into the arts for me. And music, of course, too. We were a very musical family. So yeah, they were very supportive.
One of the things I love about your book is you share so candidly the things that didn't work for you. Even though you were musical and you had a gift and you and your brothers had a group of your own, but when you took piano lessons, you just assumed it was going to be another wonderful voila moment, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, it was just very technical, all the notes and scales. I just was easily intimidated. The same with photography when I took my first photography class. But yeah, it turns out that if you just keep your head down and focus, that you can overcome those things.
And ultimately, the same with your Mac computer.
Yeah. Computers were a scary thing for me at first, but now I use them all day, every day.
But what I love about the whole thing is there's such a message, I think, to so many people out there who are listening to your story right now, that don't get discouraged. Just keep pushing through to the next great idea, to the next voila moment. After you had started the photography and you really got into your own specific style and design and some recognition, you began to photograph people who were in need. How did that happen?
Yeah, it was something I wanted to do. It was 2008. I wanted to do something at Christmas to give back. And so I had the idea to use my camera to do a photo shoot for people in need and give them the same A-list treatment that we give celebrities. So do their hair and makeup, feed them, bring clothes. And the first time we did it, it was extraordinary. So that's when we decided to do it globally the next year.
Yeah, it really touched people's hearts. And then the earthquake in Haiti happened. And that was another opportunity to really specifically show the need and the lack to people who hadn't experienced that. How did that happen?
Well, yeah, after the earthquake, I was amazed that the media wasn't showing the stories. They were talking about all the statistics.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go down there myself and give them a microphone in the form of a photograph. And so and then social media was very new at that time. So I used Twitter and Instagram to really share the stories of the people firsthand.
Well, you went to meet the survivors of all of this, and you actually asked them what message they wanted to share with the world. What did they say to you?
The messages were stunning, you know, just the resiliency, the hope, the determination to rebuild was so inspiring. I mean, those stories will stick with me the rest of my life.
You actually started a Voice of Haiti campaign on social media, and ultimately the UN recognized what you had done. Were you surprised by that?
I was, yeah. I just jump into projects. I never know where they're going to go. And so to get a call from the UN, they hung all the photos for a big meeting of all the world leaders. And that day, they hung all my photos in the halls of the UN, and they pledged $10 billion that day to rebuild Haiti. And so just to have the photos play a role in that was really special.
I don't know if I've seen this correctly in your story or not, but it seems like one of the reasons you're so successful is you really follow your heart. You just said it in a sense, you jump into these things. It's not calculated, like you're not thinking, what is this going to get me, or how am I going to be successful, or how are my pictures going to be seen by more people? Is that just a natural part of who you are?
I think so. I remember as a kid wanting to be the first, go into the haunted house, you know? and now as an adult, I have that same draw to try the new career, try the new, jump into the new project. And, now I'm building a hotel, and that was the same thing.
Tell me about that.
Jumping into this crazy new career. Yeah, God gave me the idea in 2012 to build a new global hotel chain. And I was very terrified. I was so scared that for 3 years I did nothing, 3 years. And then finally, 2015, we decided to start walking towards it, and now we're running and actually building this hotel.
What's your purpose?
Well, the concept is the Purpose Hotel, and it's for the building. Everything in the building will serve a nonprofit or a cause.
Wow.
So our tagline is "Change the world in your sleep." So everything in the building will be connected to various causes and nonprofits. For example, every room will sponsor a child, tell their story. The internet fee will fight against sex trafficking. Things like that.
And I noticed also that you had gotten very involved in some countries where there's just so much turmoil. Rwanda being one of them, Uganda. What's the most difficult place you've been, and the most difficult to photograph and tell the story?
Gosh, I mean, Haiti and Rwanda and Uganda. I did a project in Uganda with former child soldiers who were abducted and forced to, kill other people. And then they, in various ways, escaped, and I was able to do an art therapy project with them. And hearing those stories will stick with me for the rest of my life. They're very hard, but the resiliency of these kids and to rebuild and to come back to their families was inspiring.
It's quite astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, your use of the gifts God has given you in such a meaningful and yet creative way are also very inspiring to the rest of us. I want to tell you, you can hear more of Jeremy's story, and it's worth hearing about in his brand new book. It's called I'm Possible, Jumping into Fear and Discovering a Life of Purpose. And you can get it in stores nationwide. Thank you so much.
Of
Great
course.
to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful.